want me to like
Please rise and body your spirit and join us in singing our new anchor song for August, hymn number 97, Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home, a long way from home. Sometimes I feel like I have no friend. Sometimes I feel like I have no friend. Sometimes I feel like I have no friend. A long way from home. A long way from home. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. A long way from home. A long way from home.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ambra Bridges. My pronouns are she and her, and today I am serving this congregation as a worship associate. Please join me in today's call to worship, which is a responsive reading, Love Invites Us by Anastasia Brioche. We come together to lament with, celebrate with, and care for one another in our community and our world, because we want to be here with one another. Love is not only at the center, but also the opening that invites us to lament, celebrate, and care. Love invites us to honor our interdependence with all beings in the web of all existence.
Love invites us to envision a world where all are free from exploitation and the smallest
And the largest.
are protected and nurtured with care and respect.
Love invites us to revel in our uniqueness, using pluralism as our guide.
Love invites us to recognize all beings as sacred and celebrated. Our differences are appreciated and valued. All are equally sacred, regardless of culture, theology, and experience.
Love invites us to counter all forms of oppression with justice.
Love invites us to dismantle all forms of racism and systemic oppression. All people are worthy of thriving.
Love invites us to participate in our individual and collective transformation.
Love invites us to cultivate change so we may grow spiritually and ethically. We know that we are perfectly imperfect and never finished growing.
Love invites us to connect by opening our hearts to generosity.
Love invites us to willingly and thoughtfully share our time, talent, and treasure. Our generosity connects us to relationships of interdependence and mutuality.
Love invites us to create inclusive, equitable communities.
Love invites us to know in our hearts that all people are inherently worthy and have the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion.
Love invites us to worship together.
Good morning. My name is Helen Dingus, and I use the pronouns she and her, and I am your worship leader today. And before we start our worship service further, we are going to have a conversation about what's going on around here. In order to build this community, we need love plus connection, and that will lead to spiritual and ethical transformation. This is your community, and so we ask that you please be an active part of it by joining us in the following activities and events. First, thanks to all who assisted or attended the Back to School First Friday event on August 1st. Was anybody there? Catherine, Ken, Dorothy? Faisal, were you there? Sherry? Thank you all for helping us be part of our larger community. Please come back into the sanctuary today after your snacks for the Social Justice Committee meeting with Sherry Kent. This Wednesday is the Worship Committee meeting at 5 o'clock, followed by dinner worship at 6:30. Bring your desires for what you want to see in services to the meeting and something to add to the rice for dinner worship, where the service is the conversation. Next week is our monthly potluck after the service, followed by the August board meeting. Melissa Marshall and the RE Youth and Children invite us to tell stories together. Please check the back of your order of service and our e-newsletter, which is published on Mondays, for more information on other events. And we encourage you, if you're not getting our newsletter yet, to sign up your information on the table in the hall. And now, Amber's going to help us with our chalice lighting.
The fire of commitment. We light this challenge to kindle the fire of commitment, to spread our beloved faith, proclaim the good news that all are worthy and all are welcome, that God is love and none shall be left behind. May we carry this flame to all we encounter, letting our lives shine with its glow. Let us rise and embody our spirit to sing in English and Spanish, Spirit of Life. here we gather, tucked back in this friendly neighborhood between the beautiful tall pines. We are a community of people who have arrived from many different paths, yet we seek a common goal, to bring more love to a hurting but beautiful world. We do this by building our UUCL community with our time, talents, and treasures. Our shared UU value of generosity calls us to covenant with one another that we freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources so that the dream of a beloved community becomes a reality. Please help us grow into our dreams as our ushers pass the plate for our collection.
Francesca, will you please light our healing candle this morning? This reading is from a book called The Dominion of Dreams by William Sharp. Deep peace I breathe into you. Oh, weariness here, oh, ache here. Deep peace, a soft white dove to you. Deep peace, a quiet rain to you. Deep peace, an ebbing wave to you. Deep peace, red wind of the east from you. Deep peace, gray wind of the west to you. Deep peace, dark wind of the north from you. Deep peace, blue wind of the south to you. Deep peace, pure red of the flame to you. Deep peace, pure white of the moon to you. Deep peace, pure green of the grass to you. Deep peace, pure brown of the earth to you. Deep peace, pure gray of the dew to you. Deep peace, pure blue of the sky to you. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the sleeping stones to you. Deep peace of the yellow shepherd to you. Deep peace of the wandering shepherdess to you. Deep peace of the flock of stars to you. Deep peace from the Son of Peace to you. Deep peace from the heart of Mary to you, and from Bridget of the mantle. Deep peace, deep peace. And with the kindness too of the haughty Father, peace. In the name of the three who are one, peace. And by the will of the King of the elements, peace, peace.
Our ritual of the sharing of joys, concerns, and sorrows embodies the belief that through connecting our lives, our freedoms expand. This is because the act of gathering, of sharing, of deeply connecting gives us courage. And in this world in which we must navigate many joys and sorrows, it is the courage we give one another that sets us free from the weight of being lost and alone. In our Joys and Sorrows book, we are able to write any significant joy or sorrow occurring in your life that you would like for the congregation to know. Today we have, it doesn't say who wrote this, is maybe Petra? Petra writes, Joshua wants to thank everyone for all the good wishes and vibes. He asks that you please keep vibrating the power of prayer, love unconditionally, relax into it. And Sherry writes, Happy birthday, Adam. I am very grateful for you. Congratulations on another successful trip around the sun and many more. You are invited now to come forward for our ritual of joys and sorrows. You may take whichever stone or stones feels right to you and drop it in the bowl, connecting to others, feeling the power of being together in this community.
And for all of our visitors, friends, and members who are joining us online, whether watching the live stream or watching this later, Jen is going to put stones in for all of you as well. Thank you for being with us here today. Now, before we get moving on the worship service, I have been asked to announce that there is a black Santa Fe that is blocking egress from the parking lot. So whoever's vehicle that is, please, when the worship service gets out, please go ahead and move that out of the way so that people can leave. Thank you. And now I'm going to read a word on statistics. I knew you'd love that one, Adam. By Wisława Szymborska, Nobel laureate in literature from 1996. She's a Polish poet. She was a Polish poet. And I did look up how to pronounce her name, because it doesn't look anything like that. Out of every 100 people, those who always know better, 52. Unsure of every step, nearly all the rest. Ready to help as long as it doesn't take too long, 49. Always good because they cannot be otherwise, 4. Well, maybe 5. Able to admire without envy, 18. Led to error by youth, which passes, 60 plus or minus. Those not to be messed with, 44. Living in constant fear of someone or something, 77. Capable of happiness, 20 some odd at most. Harmless alone, turning savage in crowds, more than half for sure. Cruel when forced by circumstances, it's better not to know, not even approximately. Wise in hindsight, not many more than wise in foresight. Getting nothing out of life but things, 30, although I'd like to be wrong. Doubled over in pain without a flashlight in the dark, 83 sooner or later. Those who are just, quite a few at 35. But if it takes an effort to understand, 3. Worthy of empathy, 99. Mortal, 100 out of 100, a figure that has never varied yet. And now I welcome you to rise in body or spirit to join us in hymn number 1053, How Could Anyone?
How could anyone fail to notice?
thank you, Isaiah, and musicians and choir for leading us in our singing. As you know, we have been reading sermons that came out of our Soul Matters packets for the month of, was it June? Right. And all of them came from the same packet, which was the one with the theme of freedom. I don't remember which month that actually was. Was that June? Okay. So this service, it all is tied together. The worship service actually references the other things that were in the service. And she's going to be quoting from a book. And I'm not going to delineate when it's a quote from the book and when it's not, when it ends. I mean, if she said, the author said this, then I'm going to say that. But I'm going to read what she wrote. This is titled Way Beyond Normal, and it was delivered by Reverend Dana Warsnop at Unitarian. Good grief. We're Unitarian Universalists, aren't we? Sorry. Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura, California. I love how the Brits don't speak of math as a single area of study. Rather, they talk about maths, plural. It makes sense. After all, it's a shortening of mathematics. The main branches of mathematics are arithmetic, algebra, and geometry. Though there is no settled taxonomy of maths, the branches split off from there to include trigonometry, probability and statistics, number theory, game theory, and more. As a student, I was very good at arithmetic and pretty good at geometry. The higher maths didn't grab hold, though I have since learned other skills in maths, like statistics, which are quite useful. Teaching third grade, I was a whiz at teaching arithmetic, pretty much the only of the maths for lower grades. By golly, I've got my times tables down. So I was fascinated recently to learn about the 19th century Belgian statistician Adolphe Quetelet, who was the inventor of the concept of l'homme moyen, or average man. Quetelet wanted to be the next Sir Isaac Newton, who was his hero. He started out as an astronomer and was on course to make a name for himself when revolution broke in Europe and sent his academic path on the rails. Todd Rose, from Harvard's Graduate School of Independence and Education, I can read, really, I promise you, tells of Quetelet's intellectual journey in his book, The End of Average, How We Succeed in a World That Values Sameness. Shaken by the revolution which upended a stable society in which he could pursue science without concern for politics or society, writes Rose, Quetelet found himself longing for a stable government that passed sensible laws and policies that would prevent the sort of social chaos that had derailed his career plans. There was just one glaring problem. Modern society seemed utterly unpredictable. Human behavior did not appear to follow any discernible rules, just like the universe had been so undecipherable before Isaac Newton. Quetelet now wondered if he could apply that maths he'd used to identify hidden patterns in the heavens to find hidden patterns in the apparent chaos of social behavior. And therein lies the rub. Quetelet's innovation was to take the concept of averages that he used in astronomical measurements to human beings. He started with a data set from a medical journal that listed the chest circumference of 5,738 Scottish soldiers. This is all pretty basic arithmetic. Add all the measurements and divide by 5,338. What he got was 39 3/4 inches. This got Quetelet going, and he began measuring and averaging all parts of the human body. All interesting information, though the trouble is not with the hard numbers, but with how we interpret them, which is another skill folks need to learn, a skill that lies beyond mathematics. From his data, Quetelet invented the idea of the average man, which he interpreted as the perfect man. I retain the original gendered language deliberately. He saw it, Rose continues, as a kind of cosmic template for human beings. Any deviance from the average man was simply a naturally occurring error. For Quetelet, the average man was perfection itself, an ideal that nature aspired to, free from error. He declared that the greatest men in history were closest to the average man of their place and time. Oh, the social engineering that can arise from such basic maths. Taking the average of something is so useful, though average quickly becomes seen as normal, which is the problem. The template for the normal human, of course, was the Western European man. Women deviate from the measurements of man, and so they can be considered another error and lesser than. And on it goes. Though the concept of taking averages is so basic to us, Quetelet was hailed as a genius in his time. He influenced, for good or ill, science and sociology for years to come. Rose concludes, this marked the moment when the average became normal, the individual became error, and stereotypes were validated with the imprint of science. These assumptions would eventually prompt generations of parents to worry if their child did not develop according to the average milestones, and cause almost everyone to feel anxiety when their health, social life, or career deviated too far from the average. So let us consider the statistics in the poem by Wisława Szymborska. I actually have a more optimistic view of human nature than she did. Statistically, I think more people are good and have good in them than she appears to believe, and that we are less likely to behave badly, though lately that view might be changing. As a universalist, I would say that 100% of us are worthy of compassion, though I will also admit that some people in our lives make it harder. Yet I find her poetic statistics more accurate, more evocative and nuanced than averages. For we are all a mix of so many qualities that vary all over the map, and graphs and bell curves. I've lost the reference, but when I was in seminary, I remember coming across the phrase normal neurotic in a textbook. It came to me as such a gift. It's normal to be neurotic. We all have our issues. Maybe you have a tendency toward anxiety while I struggle with depression. Our neuroses may not be the most effective adaptations to living our lives, yet there is not a single one of us who isn't sometimes defensive or codependent or controlling or fill in your own blank. The trouble has always been when we constrict the breadth of human expression into the narrow range of deviance from the center, which is considered average, normal. Normal has become a kind of tyranny, and it's actually a very new concept in human history, as hard as that is to wrap our well-trained Western mindset around. Really, before the Enlightenment and the advent of the social sciences, folks viewed humans as chaotic and mysterious. Theologically, what became the main branch of Christianity saw this chaos as fallen, born into sin. Buddhism also sees a chaotic human beingness, yet holds it not as sinful, but as suffering. Suffering that is as much self-inflicted as anything. Average and normal, as applied to humanity, is really a modern concept, and we are liberated when we tear down the narrow gate of normal. When we live our lives way beyond normal. It is perfectly normal for some people to be transgender. There have been transgender people since we became people. It is one of the ways human beings manifest. Is it common? Not exactly. Studies from 2016 estimated the proportion of Americans who identify as transgender is between 0.5 and 0.6%. which would put the number of transgender Americans at 1.4 million adults. Many LGBTQ activists suspect that such surveys represent a distinct undercount because many transgender people stay in the closet due to transphobia and discrimination. Even if the number is actually 2 to 3 times that, it is still a small percentage of the population. It's also millions of people. Some indigenous cultures in America honored transgender humans in their midst, calling them people of two spirits, knowing that they carry their own wisdom, beauty, and expression. Each Sunday, we acknowledge the ancient provenance of the land we now occupy. We do this to remember that this land is not ours. It is a place that people have occupied for millennia. We do this also to recognize that there is a wisdom that colonialism nearly wiped out, a wisdom that we have yet time to learn from. COVID times and the climate crisis has made me more sensitive and resistant to this whole concept of normal. I am so weary of phrases like getting back to normal and the new normal. If I could, I would ban the word from the lexicon for a while. Warren Harding won the 1920 presidential election following the twin cataclysms of World War I and the 1918 1918 flu epidemic. We're not gonna call it Spanish. I'm not gonna call COVID anything bad either. Under the slogan, a return to normalcy. It drove some people crazy because he essentially made up a word, though it is now fully part of our language. The idea of normal is an invented social construct. It can be a useful one, though I would say it does more harm than good. Let's all give it up and be free. Let's live way beyond normal. Let's live into a wider scope of human expression for all. For how could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole, just as you are? We are in such a time of upheaval and transition, hearkening back to a previous and mythical time of normalcy will just make it harder. We have the chance to write a new ending with a better storyline. We can leave some of the pages still blank, learn to be more open to a plot that's less defined. That may be the biggest spiritual lesson of our times. We want to be able to plan our lives, to know what's coming next. We never really can, though in more predictable times, things actually seem to turn out as we wanted them to more often, or so it seemed. And it's not just a post-pandemic lesson. Indeed, the unsettledness is far deeper in the climate. The weather averages that we've been compiling for the last couple of centuries are less and less useful with each season. It is scary when the breadcrumbs meant to show us the way back have blown away. Truth is that we cannot ever really go back, breadcrumbs or no. There is no going back. We can yet go forward. We can yet be free. Yes, even in these wildly unsettled and unsettling times, we can be free. Way beyond normal may be where freedom lies. Amen. May it be so. Our closing words come from the hymn, Wo Ya Ya. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Wo Ya Ya, Wo Ya Ya, Woe ya ya, woe ya ya. Now please rise in body or spirit and join us in our closing hymn, number 1020, Woe ya ya.
Please join me as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.
And as Heather is wont to tell us, remember, you are loved, you are worthy, and you are a blessing. Without the kids in here, we lost a few minutes of the service, but they're going to be doing a great job for us next week, and so I hope to see you all there. And whoever's car is in the way, please move it. And join us for snacks and coffee in the social hall. Thank you for coming.